Hi, I'm Mike Rooney. Today's free art lesson is going to be on how to paint a cloud. Now, as you see, I've toned the canvas and I have my palette set up. And if you want to see how to do that, just go to the video, a Real Art Academy starter set video that I did. It shows how I set up my palette and toned the canvas with orange acrylic. So if you want to do that, go check that out at jerrysartorama.com. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to make a cloud look pretty believable. And what you have to remember is that it's not a stone and it's not a piece of cotton. So it's an entity that is blown around by the wind. So if we make it seem to have some structure, but it's still wind blown, it still has soft edges, it'll look like a cloud. So what I did, I brought a study from one of the paintings I did, and you can see the cloud structure up here. So I'll kind of show you how to do it. So let's make some color and just draw it in. I'm going to take some orange and some red, some alizarin crimson, and I'm going to make an orange that's just a little more orange than the actual canvas. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid to it, stir it around, and make sure that I can draw with it without it being too imposing on the orange. So that's good. I like that. Let's go ahead and take that off and start to draw the structure of the cloud. All right, let's copy this cloud up here. Okay, so what we see is that most of the clouds are sort of straight on the bottom. It's okay if you kind of zigzag them like that. They're never, well, I'm not going to say never. I've seen them really straight across before, but most of the time it's more believable if you have a little zigzag in it. So do that. And then realize that the wind, that clouds are caused by an updraft. So take your sketchbook out. If you want to paint clouds believably, take your sketchbook out and just sketch clouds, and you'll see how they're formed. They come down and they have a flat shelf of a bottom, but then there's all this updraft. So that's what you see here. These are going, 25, 30,000 feet in the air. If you've ever been in an airplane, you've seen the tops of those clouds. So what you got to realize is that they're pretty square right in here. But then they start to rise, they get less and less square, or not less and less square, they get less and less flattened out. So they start to rise. So see how I put an oval on top of this base. So there's the base, there's sort of an oval. Then there's a smaller oval on top because this one is starting to climb and have updraft. So that's I'm just making ovals basically. So then you can kind of make that go down and then start another set of ovals over here, because that's another section that's trying to start updrafting. So you'll see it start to updraft. So if you do a couple updrafts and then maybe have the one main updraft there, if you see the thing as a whole and get rid of those lines, you'll see that you basically have the structure of a cloud. Basically some ovals sitting on top of a flat shelf. So we'll let that soak into that Soho board just a minute. And if it doesn't dry quick enough for your liking, you can always just take it off. So we'll just take it off and get rid of that, because now there's going to be a lot of blues and purples in there, so I don't want a bunch of orange in there. But look at the structure of the cloud. I mean, it has some beef to it. Now, let's see, this might look better if it had a little top on it. And that's what I mean. Just kind of fool with it and figure out, let's put this one in front of that one. Okay, so this one's in the back. This one's in the back. So it has a nice puffy feel to it, but it's also pretty solid like a form. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just make up some magenta. Take some magenta and some purple and make the shadow part of the cloud. Now you can do it a couple ways. You can make it purple. I usually leave stuff a little more tweaked up in color than it really is. You can do that, or you can put a little gray in it. Some people gray it down a little bit. They feel more comfortable having it gray. So what you do is the parts that aren't getting sun, so if the sun's coming from this direction, the parts that aren't getting any sun are going to be over here on the bottom right and all along the shelf. So there's the first one. There's the second one. Okay, might tie those two together. Have sun on that part. All this. Okay, this is the back of the one. This is the back right of the back one. So there's the shadow structure of the cloud. And then we'll do the light side. So take white, add just a little bit of yellow to it, cream it up a little, put a little orange. Make a nice creamy white. So orange and yellow will make a nice creamy white. All right, now don't make it too white. Everybody wants to make their clouds white. Clouds aren't really white. All right, so then you fill in. Very chunky. That was a good word, chunkily. And we'll go like that, the part of the cloud that's being hit by light. All right. Now this is just a real quick free art lesson, so I'm not going to get real detailed with my cloud. YouTube will keep us from doing that. And then what you do is you just take that and you soften it. And you just remember that you got sky behind here. This is probably blue sky behind here. Let's go ahead and put the blue sky in. And I'll just do a piece of this cloud and show you, okay? So if that's the blue sky, the cloud part is whiter than the sky, that's cool. Then you just soften it. Clean your brush out a bunch and just soften these edges. Just tap them right on the edge and blend them together. Make them softer in places. Now some of it you want to be hard, some of it you don't. Same thing on the sky, where the sky meets the cloud. Now I always just take my paint and go like that. And just kind of soften the edge a little bit. Now you can come back with some real hard white and put some real hard white in some places. And then soften that. And once you do that, you'll have something that looks like a cloud. Then you just get rid of all the edges and just blend them a little bit. And if you squint, and that wasn't bad for 7 minutes. Anyway, they look like clouds. So I hope you enjoyed this free art lesson. If you want to learn more about me or my paintings, go to MikeRooneyStudios.blogspot.com.